Hey folks, how's it going? It's Mr. Murray coming to you with another Do Now video for May 5th, 2020. Happy Cinco de Mayo. So in this activity, we're going to be simplifying using the laws of exponents. So just as a recap, remember we started off our break 313 to 4, I guess say closure to 415, working on quadratics, factoring and solving, right? We jumped back in on the following Monday by doing an intro to geometric sequences. Okay, we worked on that a little bit. And I should say not 4-1. I need to change these dates. So this is like a 5-1 and this is like a 5-4. So let me just make sure. This should say 5-1 and this started on 5-4. I think that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so we talked about recently the laws of exponents. And if you don't know those, if you're stuck on those, I do recommend taking a look at the lesson materials for May 4th, 2020, yesterday. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the laws of exponents to simplify the following four expressions. 4 to the 5th over 4 squared, x to the 5th to the power of 4, 3b to the negative 2, and 9 to the negative 2 times 3 to the positive 6. In the end, you should only have one expression. When I say simplify, it should be just one thing. And if there are any negative exponents, you need to use the correct law with the negative exponents in terms of what do you do with those? Where do those go? What happens to that letter or the number or whatever? Okay, and be completely simplified. All right, so please take a second, pause the video, simplify these four expressions, and then when you're ready, unpause, and you can see what I got. Okay, so 4 to the 5th over 4 squared. Well, what we know is that when you divide two expressions, and the bases are the same, essentially it's like this: 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, right? That's literally what it means to be 4 to the 5th. And this is 4 squared, 4 times 4. So what we're going to see is, notice how you're going to get some canceling because this is multiplication, and what you're left with is 4 to the 3. Because remember, in this case, you're going to subtract the exponents because the bases are the same. If the bases aren't the same, you can't do that. Okay, here we're going to use our rule of fly high multiply. So this is literally x to the 5th times x to the 5th times x to the 5th times x to the 5th, right? It's literally x to the 5th to the power of 4. And what we know is that is going to mean that the exponents are going to, in this case, they would add, right? That's another rule that we learned. But in any case, basically what's happening is you're just taking the exponent in here, the expression here, and you're multiplying it by itself a certain number of times. But when you do that, because of the previous rule we learned about how they add, well, that's going to mean that you're adding over and over again. And adding over and over again is the same thing as multiplying. But the idea is when you have a power raised to a power, remember you fly high multiply. Okay, and if you have Mr. McCready next year, you'll definitely hear that a lot. Okay, next one, 3b squared. Not a lot to this, or to the negative 2. The idea is, remember with a negative exponent, you want to take it and you want to move it to the bottom, right? That's what you always do. So whenever you see a negative exponent, you do the reciprocal, and then you make the exponent positive. Okay, so see what I did? I did the reciprocal, I moved it, so it's literally 3 times 1 over b squared. So I took the b to the negative 2, flipped it, made it the reciprocal 1 over b, and then I took the negative 2, made it a positive 2. And you can see how that is 3 over b squared, right? 3 times 1 and the b squared. This is the last one's a tricky one. So I do have my 3 to the 6th, but then this 9 is going to become a 9 to the negative to the 9 to the 2, like that. Now, if you think we're done, we're not really, because this is the same thing as 3 to the 6th. Now, look, what's 9? Well, 9 is 3 squared, right? Agree? 9 is 3 squared. So this is not just 9 squared, it's 3 squared squared. And when you do that, remember you fly high multiply. So this is actually equal, believe it or not, this is equal to 9 because you have your 3 to the 6 up top. This becomes 3 to the 4 just by rewriting and using the laws of exponents. And then you have 3 to the 6 over 3 to the 4. well, that's going to mean that the exponents are going to subtract, giving you 6 minus 4 is 2. So you get 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, so our answers are, if we go to the top, 4 cubed, and you could also say 64, because those are equivalent. X to the 20, 3 over b squared, and 9. And remember, this rule, this was just a couple different rules, so I didn't sum up a particular rule there. All right, so hopefully you're able to get this right. If so, congratulations. Please take a moment and make sure you review today's lesson materials and you're staying up to date. Best of luck. Looking forward to seeing everyone on Friday. And remember, you can do it. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day.